enthusiasts. Join us as we dive deep into the evolution of podcasting, where every episode is a chance to engage, debate, and celebrate the world of sports. This is where your voice matters and the game never stops. Welcome to the Huddle Sports Network, where we're breaking boundaries and redefining podcasting. Broadcasting live on 6 different platforms, we're bringing you the latest in sports like never before, where sports passion meets podcasting brilliance. I'm Mike, the Bear fan, and alongside Bill, the Packer fan, and our buddy Ken Catalone, we're bringing you an incredible lineup of 38 diverse podcasters. Each one brings their unique flavor to the table, covering everything from game analysis to behind-the-scenes stories. Imagine diving deep into the minds of experts who live and breathe football, sharing insights that you won't find anywhere else.
Hey there, people. Welcome to another episode of the Michigan Sports Truth Podcast on the Huddle Sports Network. I'm Taylor Phillips. Got plenty to talk about. Red Wings, Tigers, Pistons, Wolverines, and Spartans. College basketball, March Madness, Sweet 16. Yes, sir. First off, the Red Wings, they're on another March slump, third season in a row, but they have head coach Todd McLellan and not Derek Lalone. And this is not all Todd McLellan's fault. Just a minute. There we go. Now we got it. So as we're aware, the Red Wings could be on the verge of missing the Stanley Cup playoffs for the 9th consecutive season. But as I show the standings, the Red Wings are just 3 points away from the second wild card spot. At 72 points, the Red Wings are 33, 32, and 6. The Canadiens are 33, 28, and 9. But there are 3 teams in between those two. The Islanders, 32, 28, and 10 with 74 points. Rangers are 34, 32, and 6 with 74 points. And the Blue Jackets, Columbus, 32, 29, and 9, 73 points. It's all neck and neck. It's still neck and neck. Red Wings got a big 5-1 win in Utah over the hockey club, but they got smashed 5-2 by the Colorado Avalanche, who are third place, 91. Utah, 75 points, 8 points away from the St. Louis Blues at the second wild card spot in the Western Conference wild card standings. So anyway, yes, some fans are aware that Todd McLellan is doing the best he can. He's criticizing their work ethic. Now, at least there's still a minority of their fans that think they can blame current head coach Todd McLellan for their third consecutive slump in the month of March, which seems to be detrimental, and compare him to previous head coach Derek Lalone. They're dead wrong. As I shift back to demo scene 1. Those particular fans that easily pick the time to point the finger of blame to a random figure need to remember it was Lalone that sunk the team through the first 3 months of the season, the regular season to begin with, before getting canned on December 26th, the day after Christmas. McLellan was hired and brought the team back up to the playoff picture before the Four Nations break. And when they got into their slump, McLellan was constantly criticizing his own team to do so, or rightfully so, rather. He was criticizing his own team, rightfully so. He didn't coddle his team like Lalone constantly did in the past. That's the main difference between those two men, between Lalone and McLellan. That's why the Wings need to extend McLellan after this season. Steve Yzerman just has more work to do forthcoming NHL offseason. And this is not Todd McLellan's first full season as Red Wings head coach. Next season will be, and we'll see what happens then. They might then have a greater percentage of making the Stanley Cup playoffs with McLellan at the helm next season, and dare I say, might even be almost elite pending the roster on paper. They just have to prove it all on the ice. So the Tigers have suffered quite a few injuries. Third baseman and outfielder Matt Vierling is out with a right rotator cuff muscle strain until sometime in April. Let me take a sip of my water here. Outfielder Parker Meadows has a right upper arm nerve discomfort and is on the 60-day injured list until May 24th. Center fielder Wenceel Perez suffered back inflammation that could put him out until early of May. Relief pitcher Alex Cobb has right hip inflammation and is out until late April or early May. Relief pitcher Alex Lang is still recovering from lateral surgery and won't be back until late May or early June. Pitcher Sawyer Gibson Long is also still recovering from right elbow and left hip surgeries and is also out until late May or early June. Pitcher Ty Madden has a right rotator cuff strain, but will return shortly after opening day. All those guys will still be back at some point this regular season to sum this all up. Except for relief pitcher Jose Urquidy, who suffered Tommy John surgery back in June of 2024 and won't even be back until 2026. The Tigers signed Urquidy in between the time he suffered that severe injury and the point of time that he's projected to recover from it. I'm not sure why, but it's true. But in general, fans everywhere on X that panic so much about injuries actually shouldn't panic as much as they usually do, because of those players that will still come back later this regular season. Yes, they did sign outfielder Manuel Margot from the Brewers to a 1-year, $1.3 million contract with $1.2 million in incentives. His offensive numbers weren't that great with the Minnesota Twins last season, with a 238 batting average, a 298 on base percentage, just 4 home runs, 31 RBIs, and just 5 stolen bases in 129 games. The Brewers picked him up, but they released him in the offseason, but then released him earlier this spring. But anyway, the positive thing about Margot is his defense might actually be good enough as a defensive replacement for either Parker Meadows or Wenceel Perez in center field come opening day. The Tigers also signed Ben Gamel, another outfielder from the Houston Astros, to a 1-year, $1.2 million minor league contract, but he could be promoted to the major league level with the Tigers because the Tigers are promoting defense that could fill in, that could substitute Parker Meadows and Wenceel Perez and even Matt Vierling. So that should keep the Tigers some company in the outfield. So you're not going to count on we're not necessarily going to count on offense, but yes, offense gets you runs, but defense and pitching, of course, but defense gets the job done. How about those Pistons? As we know, they've been amazing. They just keep winning games and staying in 6th place in the NBA Eastern Conference. Look at that. They're just 1 digit off, 1,000th off in winning percentage, 562 to the Milwaukee Bucks, 563. The Bucks are 40-31. The Pistons are 41-32. Wow. The Pistons are dangerously close to at least 5th place and even closer to 4th place. The Indiana Pacers 42-29, 592. 2 games ahead of both the Bucks and Pistons. all those 6 teams above here, Cavs, Celtics, Knicks, Pacers, Bucks, and Pistons, they've all clinched a postseason berth, by the way, especially the Pistons. And the Pistons, they just won't stop winning. That's why I love the Pistons right now. They're also on a long streak of games, 27 to be exact, where they have scored 100-plus points. And they're also on the verge of tripling last season's amount of total wins, which was just 14. The Pistons have 41 wins. Of course, they're going to reach and surpass that mark of 42. By the way, Kate Cunningham only has soreness in his bilateral calf for those that are concerned and panicking about it. He'll be back in the lineup sometime soon. So, with that being said, the Michigan Wolverines and Michigan State Spartans are in the Sweet 16. But it keeps getting harder for them as the Wolverines prepare to play the 1-seeded Auburn Tigers, and the Spartans play the 6-seeded Ole Miss Rebels. Michigan had to survive a scare to edge the 12th-seeded UC San Diego Titans 68-65, and then came back from a halftime deficit to beat the 4-seeded Texas A&M Aggies 91-79 by 12. The Spartans got off to a very slow start against the 15th-seeded Bryant Bulldogs, but picked it up later on and then pulled away in the second half to win 87-62. And then they fought hard in an epic battle with the New Mexico Lobos and prevailed 71-63. And here are both teams in the Sweet 16. If both Michigan and Michigan State somehow beat their opponents in the Sweet 16, the Auburn Tigers and the Ole Miss Rebels, they will play each other in the Elite Eight. Wolverines versus Spartans in the Elite Eight. Can you imagine that? How crazy is that in our state? They'll both have to earn those wins to get there. Michigan has to really cut back on turnovers, and Michigan State will have to keep dominating on the offensive glass, but they also have to execute more by putting more balls into baskets from near the restricted area. So, what did we learn? This March slump that the Red Wings are in, not Todd McLellan's fault. He's been criticizing his team's work ethic, of course, and he has every right to. The Tigers, they're going to be fine, okay? Yes, Parker Meadows, Matt Vierling, and Wenceel Perez will all be back sometime a bit later this season. Their injuries are not season-ending. They'll be back like 1 or 2 months. Besides, they got Margot and Gamel to play defense. Offense gets you runs, but defense and pitching, of course, gets the job done, gets the other half of the job done. The Pistons, of course, they're just doing what they do. They keep on winning. Who knows? The race is on for 4th place. It's neck and neck, a 3-way race for it. And then the Michigan Wolverines and Michigan State Spartans, of course, they'll have their hands full in the Sweet 16 after reaching it. They've earned their right to play there, and now they'll have to earn their right to play each other in the Elite Eight. So that's what we've learned on the Michigan Sports Truth Podcast. I'm Taylor Phillips. Follow the Michigan Sports Truth Podcast on X, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok at Michigan_Truth, and like its Facebook page. Subscribe to its YouTube channel at the Michigan Sports Truth Podcast. Like its videos, turn on all notifications on the bell icon. Click or tap on live to find its latest full episodes and shorts as well, and watch them all in full. Also, follow it and listen to it in audio form on Spreaker. Also, join its supporters club, $2 a month. Follow me on Twitter, on X, TikTok, Instagram, and Blue Sky, and YouTube, and Threads at DT2 Phillips. Business shoutouts go to Athletical Physical Therapy on Woodward in Ferndale, the B4 Foundation, Cadillac Grill, Cadillac Nutrition, Cadillac Horizon Books, Cops and Donuts, Front Porch Sutton's Bay, Creative Embroidery in Cadillac for designing the Michigan Sports Truth Podcast logo on my long sleeve shirt and t-shirt, Cuts by Melanie in Lake City, the El Cilantro Taco Shop in Petoskey, Hooters of Saginaw, Flint and Taylor. It's a Denise Jewelry in Lake City. Let's roll with it. Raw ice cream. Edo Ramen, the Jagged Fork, Erica Nita of Traverse City Real Estate. Cali Tickets, call 877-225-8425 or visit calitickets.com. Goodman Acker, Northwestern Technological Institute. Meyer, Michigan Coffee Company. Northern Auto Lab, Positive Chimney and Fireplace. Pro Quality Cleaners, Raven Social Restaurant. Union Barber in Birmingham and Ferndale. United Food Service Solutions of Grand Ledge. Fletcher's Pub, Texas Corners in Kalamazoo. United Mobile Power Wash and Dry Ice Works in Southfield. J&H Family Stores. Alpine Chocolate House. Detroit Wing Company of Traverse City. The Michigan Theater of Jackson. Northfield Sports Den. Simply Delightful and Well-Being with Catherine Palms. The Michigan Sports Truth Podcast is a presentation of the Huddle Sports Network. We'll be back sometime. I'm Taylor Phillips signing off. But remember, we observe and detect the truth about our Michigan sports teams because the truth is out there. Stay on the lookout. Ta-ta, hit them with a hind.